interesting note. And we have always discussed when it comes to what are the next TV grant of rights, whatever, when it comes to conferences. We know some don't have to go very far. The people are just beating down their door. But one thing that we even asked Bob Bowlesby, Mac Rhodes has brought this up as well, is what are some of the options that are new, that are a part of new media in a way, new outlets in a way. In this story that came down earlier today, Apple and the Major League Soccer League have agreed to a 10-year broadcasting deal that's around $25 million a year. Isn't Apple something that could be an option for all conferences, including the Big 12 moving forward once they start to work on their next deal?
Yeah, I think the next thing for Apple, though, that you'll probably see is the NFL. I think because this model is – it's not free. It's included in your subscription if you just pay the $4.99 a month for Apple TV Plus. So for $5, you can get every MLS game. So I know Jack is a big soccer fan. Jack, are you an Apple TV Plus subscriber right now? Oh,
but no? He will be.
But will you be? Yes.
Will be.
So there
okay.
you go.
There you go.
That's what they do. So now, I look at the NFL because the Sunday ticket, if they use that same model, right now the Sunday ticket costs like $25-$30 a month. Through DirecTV if you have it. Now, when it goes away from DirecTV, which it's going to, if Apple takes it and uses this same model with no upsell, then all you're paying is $4.99 a month and all the NFL games, which is a pretty damn good deal if you're an NFL fan. So we'll see. I mean, if because Apple doesn't need the extra money in the inside subscriptions, they just want their network to grow, and by getting all these sports, that's a way to do that. So it'll be interesting to see that. Now, I'm sure digital realm is possible for a lot of different things, but I don't know if they can get professional sports if they're going to jump into the college sports game necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with the Big 12 or anybody like that. I think this is just somebody expanding their library. And, I'm interested to see, you're talking about $250 million for like 250,000 people watching on average. So I don't think this is hey, we expand our fan base dramatically by doing this. Maybe they do a little bit, but on average, MLS games average like maybe 300,000 viewers, I want to say. I'm curious to see how much they feel like this is going to up their viewership, or if this is simply, like Paul's saying, more of a just more to our arsenal, more to our library type of a deal. But it's a good chunk of change. I mean, $250 million for this deal apparently. And I don't see it though. Like you showed that graph yesterday. I mean, what the Big 12's got like 3 million fans or whatever it was. Who we gonna pay?
They have more than that.
I know, but that's basically what the chart was saying. It was like on average, like 3 million fans or whatever, and the SEC has 18 million fans or whatever it was. But they do average on occasion 7-8 million per broadcast. So if they're averaging that, and soccer's averaging like 250, I mean, you would think that you could probably get a pretty good deal. But at the same time, like soccer's covering the whole country, the Big 12 covers a sliver. And that's where I see it, kind of the streaming thing, not necessarily making a ton of sense all the way around, because if all of a sudden Apple's got the Big 12, which they wouldn't, they would go get like the Big 10 or whatever, and this one's got the SEC, and this one's got, the Big 12, like at some point I'm not paying 5 streamers to watch just college football plainly. So that's why I wonder how much the streaming aspect of I'm going to have to do that if I want to watch college football. Not will I or not, but will I have to do that to watch college football in the future, some of the bigger games? That's what I'm curious to know.
I said, Paul, you were on the air with me when it happened. ESPN Plus opened, and I said I would not pay for it, but I have. I learned that even though there are times when I may not even know it exists, there are enough games, there are enough events in which I have found myself with ESPN Plus watching, even though sometimes, like last year's game with Texas State and Baylor, the production was awful. I have watched games. I watched Baylor women's basketball a couple of times because it was a critical game, just to kind of be able to make sure we could, have an opinion on the game. And it's something I thought I wouldn't do, but I do. I won't do it much. I have about 3 or 4 subscriptions, And that's about it when it comes to, and none of them are very expensive whatsoever.
No, but you got to be careful because they will all of a sudden Netflix is like, boom, a surprise! Yeah. It's $18 all of a sudden, and it was this or that, So they'll slide those in there. But I mean, like I said, 285,000 viewers is the average on ESPN for MLS. College football kills that.
Yep.
So if MLS and there's all about the future of just the fact that it's international and there are lots of soccer fans, not necessarily MLS fans. So they're really playing the long game on this, but giving a good chunk of change. So, I mean, I would think that college football, but then again, we're talking about individual leagues who have several million viewers on a weekly basis, way more than this has, but maybe not the growth levels. That'll be interesting to see how TV networks view that. And it's also the fact that it's far more regional.
Also today, Dallas Morning News had a story, and